up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, it's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet, that life is all for living and love is all for giving, so this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way, that this is a very special day.
And a very special morning. It is a finally fantastic, maybe just a little freaky Friday. That means my partner in crime, my co-host this morning is Holly Thompson with Salem Crossing. Good morning, Holly.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. And I do want to say, good. It's actually, I feel like we're not snowy. Our roads look good.
I drove my car today instead of the truck, so we're good.
Yeah, some patches, yeah, you know. And school is rolling.
That's right.
Keep those buses rolling. So, you know, I'm happy that I understand the decisions, you know what I mean? And I think they were wise decisions because they were dangerous. We don't want, you know. But I think on the other hand, though, what a blessing to get back to normal somewhat, you know what I mean?
A little bit of normalcy.
Yes. And this is that long stretch from Christmas, of course we had extended Christmas vacation for the kids, to spring break.
Yeah.
You know, and everything's, and I'm not being Debbie Downer over here. I'm just saying, you know, it's hard. You know, when you see the sunshine, you welcome him. You know what I mean? But everything looks kind of gray, kind of, and where the snow's been, and kind of, you know.
Well, over at Salem Crossing, my daffodils started coming up.
Oh.
They were up about 2 inches.
Look at
the little green sprouts, you know, came up.
Yeah.
And then they got covered up by snow. And I was like, wah, wah.
Wah, wah. There they go. Okay.
I had a little hint of spring there for a minute.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
It was pushing through.
It was pushing through, which is what we're all doing.
I know.
We're all pushing through.
Just what makes, I can't stop that little one. You can push through. Well, I noticed like at Walmart, they've got like their tulips. I've noticed some of the other spring flowers. And I you know, I'm not encouraging everyone to go out and buy, but you know, maybe that makes you feel a little happier, you know.
The fruit trees are out for sale. That's always another good sign.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming. It's coming. It just can't get here soon enough for me.
It's beyond. Well, and my plants, you know, they have survived and they're thriving, but they're anxious for spring and summer to get out there and get some of that sunshine.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You can tell a difference. You know what I mean? I can tell that they're hanging in there, baby. But I'm amazed at some of them, like my amarella. I'm saying that amarella, the Christmas. It just keeps blooming, and I'm like, I don't know what you're doing, man, but you're in time off. You know what I mean? You have a hall pass. You are on vacation. You don't have to do all this. But he just keeps shooting out blooms. He's just blooming. I'm like, okay. Amazing. I got this is funny, and it sounds weird, but I got a pussy willow tree that is just like crazily. It's just like it's huge, crazy, just, you know what I mean? And he's just chomping at the bit to get out. You know what I mean? Just let me out, you know? I think if I open the door long enough, there'd be a vine going out.
Oh,
the door.
wow.
Yeah. You got to stop.
My plants at work are doing really well.
Are they? Yeah. Do you have like a window where you have direct sun, or?
I have a window. I wouldn't call it direct. Well, yeah, I mean, it's direct. It's sun. It gets lots of sun. But I do really well with the philodendron. So I got philodendron vines everywhere. And then I got a few cactus. I still need to repot the aloe plant though. But
aloe, they're solids, are they not? I mean, those things just really and they do really good if you should get burnt or something or need healing. I love them. But man, those things are just like solid. They're going to come through every time. They're going to triumph, aren't they?
Well, for me, most of the time. You know, I have a brown thumb, so I don't have the green thumb.
You got them going on. Yeah.
I'm happy with what I got.
Well, it takes time, and every plant, you know, I've got some new plants that I'm not familiar with, you know. I always like a good challenge, and so far, so good. But, you know, you got to kind of learn them, you know what I mean, sometimes. And it depends on, like, sometimes, like ferns, my house does not do well with big, now I have the ferns like I have the rabbit foot fern, remember, where they look the roots look like a big rabbit foot. They look really, some might call it scary, I call it cool. I don't. I love them, but like those ferns do really well.
Yeah.
But like the big, beautiful hanging ferns and stuff like that.
What is it called? The Boston ferns.
Boston ferns, yeah.
Yeah.
They're real kind of particular in the temperatures and stuff. They don't do well in my home.
Yeah.
I mean, so, but I think like if you have like an older, almost like a farmhouse, so to speak, I think would do well. I've seen them do really well for people in that. So, could be operator error. Could be.
You know, that's the way I feel. Operator error.
Yeah. So that's okay. It's all right.
It's fine.
It's okay. But if they go back to dust to dust, ashes to ashes, they go back to the earth.
Mother Earth gets them back.
That's exactly right. They're where they started,
it's
where
okay.
they want to be. It's okay.
Yeah.
What I tell myself when I lay them to rest. But we need to thank our sponsors, Holly.
We'd like to thank Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Americans for Prosperity, Mama Roses, Fox Pearly Wealth Management, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, Marshall Monuments, and McAllister Lane Consulting.
Okay, and last night we had a makeup basketball game, which, you got to get these games in. I mean, these games got to be played. And Salem played Silver Creek. It was not real good. Silver Creek's really tough, though, and we knew they were going to be tough. That's okay. We got another game tonight, so Salem will be in action again tonight. So, second verse, hopefully a little different than the first there. So, we'll see how they do. That's why they call it a game, right?
That's right. Good luck to you.
Yeah, more games tonight. And it'll be traveling games, so they'll be on the road. All right, we're on to the 21st day of February. Today is card reading day.
Card reading day.
Do you love it when you get a card in the mail?
I do.
I know. We don't get those very often.
No, they're becoming less and less. Christmas cards, I used to have a whole refrigerator or door or whatever wall or I've just filled with Christmas cards, and I think I got one this year.
I know.
So.
I know. It's so, it's very, it's the way it goes. But I do love, and I love to read cards. I love that. International Mother Language.
Okay.
Like none other, do we not? And our children do know, you know what I mean? Regardless if they act like they don't know what you're talking about, they do know.
They know.
Right? Do you feel that?
Know. Yeah.
You know.
They know. There are certain languages, they're right, go across the board.
Yes.
The look, the mother's look speaks volumes everywhere in every country.
I love that. Yes, they know, and don't think they don't know. Yeah. So we can not say a word, but we can, and I think
speak volumes.
Can we not? Right. You get the message.
Yes.
Yeah. National Caregivers Day. How apropos.
Perfect.
Isn't that perfect for your group, everybody?
Yes. Yes. We had State Farm brought out my staff cookies.
Oh, what a
this week for caregivers.
I love that.
And yes, it was awesome. It was awesome.
I love that so much. Well, and again, we talk about caregivers, and sometimes they're so busy giving to others that, they don't actually take care of themselves, self-care, or they don't have that someone else taking care of them.
Yes.
And that's where they have to make sure that they are doing self-care and taking care of themselves, because what is it? You can't pour from an empty cup,
Right.
and all that stuff you hear. But it's true.
It is
I know
true.
that a lot of times people say that so much that, like, you just kind of go numb, but those are things we really need to receive and take in, you know. So hats off to all of our caregivers out there. Yeah. National Grain-Free Day. Grain-Free Day.
Oh.
I
don't know if I could go grain-free.
Well, I think there's some diets where, like, some have to do that.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Have
and
to,
I think that, to me, is very scary.
Is it the gluten diet that has
the grain-free?
The grain-free. I can't remember.
I can't remember either, but I think that, I think we're doing better. We can tell now there's more gluten-free stuff for people that are. But I think the grain-free, I remember years ago, and I remember that it was a challenge for a family, and I felt so bad, because that's, hard to find food for everybody, whenever you have to go grain-free.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, here we go, Holly. And it shows Cinnamon Rolls National Sticky Bun Day.
Oh, yeah.
Is a sticky bun and is it a cinnamon roll? Is that the same? Or is it two different things?
So I think of sticky bun, so like cinnamon rolls for me has, to me, more of the, like, what I call white icing or white, To me, the sticky bun is more the caramel icing. Is the way I think of sticky bun. I could be completely wrong, so don't quote me on it, but when I think of sticky bun, I think of more of the caramely, brown, sugary topping.
Well, the reason I got silent and made that face is because, You're pulling on my heart over here. I'll take one of each. You drop the microphone when you start talking about all that. But it's National Sticky Bun Day. Yeah, it shows. I think it kind of shows like a cinnamon roll. But but I'm with you. I think it's kind of a sticky bun. Or what's the almost like what's the monkey bread?
Monkey bread.
Yeah, kind of like that. Or like
it's like the buttery, sugary,
just
gluey.
Yes, just like pull apart. Just
yes.
Get out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yes, and the crowd said yes.
We'll take one right now.
Absolutely, two maybe. National Women's Heart Day. How apropos, this is Heart Month for February, so women take care of it, and women actually have got a high percentage. I'm not a doctor, don't play one on TV, but I believe women's heart. Sometimes we put that on the back burner, sometimes we forget.
I think women put their health in general on the back burner because it goes back to that caregiver. We're the caregiver, so we gotta make sure everybody else is healthy and good, and we sometimes put our own health on the back burner.
Yeah. I think for years, we've always heard men never go to the doctor, men don't take care of themselves, but I think it's kind of the tables have turned.
I think so.
The tides have changed.
Yes.
I think we're getting the fingers pointed at us too.
Yes.
We're as guilty as that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And our excuses are don't have time, just keep on going.
Yeah.
It ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody got time for that.
Nobody got time for that.
Exactly. So, single tasking day. Wouldn't that be nice if you just had one single task?
I don't know if I'd know what to do.
Because we're multitaskers, you know what I'm saying? Yes. Right?
Always multitasking.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always. All day, every day.
I'm just thinking, shaving our legs on a conference call, with laundry going, right? No, I'm just thinking, while the children eat, there's like 1,000 things going on at once, right?
Yeah.
And we're doing it.
Got dinner in the oven, you're cleaning this, you're doing that laundry, you're
doing
everywhere.
And we don't
homework with the kids.
I don't even think we think about it.
Yeah. We just do it.
Yeah. And it's not even like something like, oh my gosh, okay, like I always call how many balls do I have in the air right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not, it's funny because you don't even think about it, you just do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You do. Every day.
Yeah.
It's just part of who we are.
Exactly. So, but if you single task, and I do try to do that because I do think, I kind of say this all the time, you can't eat the whole elephant all at once, one bite at a time, one bite at a time, sometimes that's not a bad thing. World Kombucha
What
Day.
is that?
Have you ever had that? It's a drink?
No, I've never had that.
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's got a different flavor. There's a mother that you can drink, and it's kind of different. Yeah. Kombucha.
I don't know. I have to look into that.
Right. Yeah. So, so get out and enjoy. There we go. We are on to the 21st day. Today is, we talked about that, National Engineers Week, through with 2 Week Day, American Heart Month, Bake for Your Family Month. You do that all the time, don't you?
I started my sourdough journey a couple weeks ago.
Oh, you did. You said you were going to. Yeah.
I did. And then I got the flu.
Yeah, because you're the first person that I've actually talked to on the radio. And I do want to, I want to put some things, I want to tell some things, but first of all, explain your journey. What was going on with you? I mean, just like start.
I woke up Monday morning and I had a fever. And I'm like, okay, let's just take some Tylenol and get on with it. I got to get to work. At that point, I had to take my daughter to an appointment and stuff. I'm like, we have to go. And so I, took some medicine and came back home. And I'm like, it went up. It didn't go down. What is going on here? And so I, called to work. I'm like, sorry, I can't be there. I have, I can't go in with a fever to work.
Right.
And then the next day, it was still there. And I just felt miserable. And so I ended up going, and I made my husband go to the local pharmacy and get me one of those flu COVID tests that you can swab yourself with and test it, because I had flu swabs at home, but I didn't have like a flu A or B swab at home. And so I got the flu swabs and I tested actually Monday and Tuesday, and they were both negative on there. But then Tuesday night symptoms kept getting worse and changing, and I'm like, I need to go get checked out because maybe I'm just not testing right, you know. And so went to an immediate care center and got checked out, and sure enough, I had flu A. And so I ran a fever for nearly 5 days.
Oh, golly.
And then Monday and Tuesday, I ate very little, like I just couldn't eat. And then Wednesday, Thursday, I ate nothing. Like I just slept. And my body ached all over. Like literally my skin, by Friday, my skin to touch it hurt. Like, and I mean, like, just hurt. Like it was, like my skin was sunfire toasted. Like that kind of hurt.
Oh, wow.
And by Saturday morning, I started feeling better. And I wasn't running a fever anymore. And I'm like, I just want to get out of this house for a minute. I haven't been out for a week, and I just want to get out for a minute. And so I went to the store, and I could barely make it through the store. My chest felt like it had a bowling ball sitting in it and on it and weighing me down, and I couldn't breathe. And so I'm like, okay, we got to go back home. And so I finished out the weekend just trying to rest, because every time I'd get up to try to do something, you know, I'd try to get some laundry going, or I'd try to clean the kitchen a little bit, or I'd try to make a meal, and I couldn't do it without getting severely out of breath. And so it really hit me hard. And but I went back to work Monday because I was like, I got to get out of here.
Well, sure, yeah, and but
I'm still weak. Like I did my follow-up appointment with the doctor, and you know they said you still got stuff in the lungs, so I need to take some medicine to try to finish clearing that out. And I'm just still weak. Like I still get out of breath. Taking a shower in the morning really takes my breath away. But you're just out of breath, and so I have to rest and. You know, shorter periods of walking in between tasks.
Well,
you know?
yeah.
So, but it's hit our community, I think, as a whole hard. I know it's not just hit me; it's hit several of my other employees and residents and family members and things like that. So, but yeah, boy, shoo-wee.
Well,
and then I ended up giving it to my husband and my daughter.
Oh no!
So my daughter came out of it quicker than my husband did. But he's probably on the end of it, but his lungs are still fighting it really bad. So
that's sad. Well, pray speedy recovery there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that. Well, and I think everybody, there are a lot of people in our community, you know, we had to have some of our schools even had to close down, you know, take a couple of days and, you know, try to reset and do some deep cleaning. And
it's really bad. So I implore you all, if you are sick, any of that, stay home.
Yeah.
Away from other people.
Yeah.
That you could be, you know, getting sick. Stay home until you're better and not going to be spreading it.
Right. Yeah. That's something.
That's our biggest defense against this is just stay home. Rest.
Right. Well, and that's what I've heard, you know, a lot of the people that have had it, you know, just resting. That's what I think the best thing you can do is just like what you did, kind of just sleeping and resting the best you can do.
I don't even know what happened to last Thursday at all, because I remember waking up and I was sick, and I woke up, went back to sleep. I had the work call me and text me a few times, but Friday morning came and I don't remember Thursday. I'm like, where did Thursday go? Where did it go? It just like disappeared and vanished.
For you. Yeah, that's okay. That's all right.
So I just slept my way through it.
Well, good for you.
Yeah. I had to though. I had no energy.
Well, that's what I've heard a lot of people say. So
yeah. But what I was getting at is my sourdough journey.
Yes.
So I had started making sourdough bread, right? And I had made a plain loaf and I made a cheddar loaf. But then I made you a special one, and I did not get to bring it in.
Oh.
It was a strawberry dark chocolate loaf.
Get out.
And I sat there the whole week and watched it just wither away. And my birds got it outside.
Well.
Yeah. So. I was not happy about that.
Yeah. Well, I missed you, and I would love to have, I was so excited.
I wanted to celebrate with you.
Well, I know, I was so excited when I saw Valentine's Day, 2 months ago, whatever, 3 months ago, whatever, that it was on a Friday. I thought, oh, this will be great. Holly will be here with me.
Yeah.
Did not know, but, that's the way life is. It happens, and that's okay. And I appreciate the thought, the thought was there. Would have loved to have had that. Yes, definitely. But the thought was there, so I appreciate that. And I'm glad that the birds did get it.
Yes. But now talking about the sticky bun day, I'm thinking, I wonder what sourdough cinnamon rolls would be like.
Why not try it?
Try those.
I can't imagine it being, I don't think it'd be anything wrong with it. I think it sounds good. Well, I think that the flu, has been hit hard, everybody. But my segue too, I want to remind everybody, I talked with our health nurses, our Washington County health nurses, and they are giving free flu shots.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And they say it's not too late because we still have, and we're going to, the way I understand with the weather, this is what my understanding is, we get a break today. Next week we'll see a little bit warmer temperatures, okay? Which is going to be good.
Yes.
But we're going to go back into it. Winter's not done yet. Winter, it's like, I feel like the cat and the mouse, we're going to let the mouse go for a little bit, but then we're going to grab it, re-grab it. Winter's going to re-grab us, so it's not over.
This is the time we get teased severely.
And I do, and I fall into it. I always fall into it. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And then it happens. It's not.
Because even in March we've had snow.
Absolutely.
So,
oh yeah.
And it'll get nice, and you're thinking, yes, we're out of it, and then the next time it's cold, and it's the trickster months right now.
We've actually hunted Easter eggs in the snow. Yeah, before. So this is something that happens, and it looks like it's going to have a little bit of a break, and that would be a good opportunity if you've got stuff you need to do outside or whatever. When we do have those, a little bit of a window of opportunity there, but reassure that, and I'm not being the bearer of bad news. I just feel like people need to know we're going to go back into it. Don't put those sweaters up yet.
No.
It was funny because someone was talking about, getting a sweater, and was like, well, I won't have much time to use it. I said, oh, yes, you will. Oh, yes, you will.
Yeah.
We're not.
There's still plenty of time.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
Yeah. So it's okay. It is, and try to stay positive. You know what I mean? Onward, ho, we go.
That's right. Onward, ho, we go. Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's all right. But I do want to say that the flu shots are still free at the health department. They have plenty, and they said that the window is still open. You can still go ahead and get your flu shot. You know what I mean? Because sometimes like that window kind of closes. So we're going to talk some other things going on too. We're going to have them on talking about the bird flu going on. We have some more of our different bird buildings in our community that have been hit hard.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's sad.
That is sad.
Very sad. So there's a lot going on with that. So we're going to find some more updates with that. So
good.
Yeah, so try to keep everybody in the know, so. And it's a lot, for sure.
It is a lot.
It is a lot. Yeah, so.
It is a lot.
But it's okay. It's all right. We're onward ho. All right. So also, here's some, we were talking about mom language and stuff, okay? Well, this is actually Happy Language Day.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
And I always, my family accuses me of having my own language. I have to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of the things, So, do you have certain things that your family says that probably nobody else says?
I don't know. I don't know.
Is there not something, well, because, I can think of some things, and one of my big one was, for Q-tips, I call them, and since the girls were little, it's funny because when they go to school, they learn the truth. But I would call them ear cleaner outers.
Oh my goodness.
I know. Ear cleaner outers, okay?
Oh my goodness.
So when my girls got to school and they were taught that they were called Q-tips, you know what I mean, or, they were like, Mom, you have steered us wrong, you know what I mean?
Well, they do clean out the ears.
They do. I don't know. And so it's funny because for my birthday, I got a big jar, and they wrote on it, ear cleaner outers.
At least they have fun with it with you.
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's all right. You know what I mean?
It's okay.
And we all have different things. I have all kinds of things that, and you have to kind of be around me enough to know what I'm talking
maybe
about.
you know
My
maybe
own
I
language, yes.
maybe I don't know. It's just because it's so second nature to me that I don't know that it's not
that you're
right.
saying things, yeah.
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 You know.
Well, when you talk to your family, you know what I mean? So, can you name the most spoken language in the world?
No. What is it?
Well, it is, hang on, let's see, hang on. Actually, wait, hold on. Happy Language Day. Do you know the most spoken language in the world is? There are two answers. With native speakers, it's Chinese, but with total speakers, it's English, 1.5 billion worldwide.
Oh, wow. I think it's interesting because with us having all those foreign exchange students that Mom had.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know every one of them came to us speaking 2 to 3 languages? Like they have, obviously, going through school, they have to learn their native language, but then English was the second required one. But a lot of them spoke more than 2 languages, some of them 3 and 4 languages. And that just amazes me because, I mean, we do second languages, like I took 2 years of Spanish and things like that, but it's not for us, it's not like it is for other countries.
Mm-hmm.
Other countries, like you're going to learn these.
Right, yeah.
So
I took Latin. I'm not good at it, but it is very interesting
mm-hmm.
to hear. But now, okay, so when you have an exchange student, was there any did you have to was there language barriers sometimes though? Because our words, they said English is the hardest to learn because we use so many slang words.
It's the slang that does.
We do that.
Mm-hmm. The slang would get to them because we're not speaking proper English. We're not speaking what they were taught.
Guilty.
Yeah. And so our slang gets them more than anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That, and I'm sure, we have that more country dialect, going on too. So we got a twang. So probably different parts of our country are different too. If you go to New York versus Alabama versus California, whatever, everybody's got their different twangs to them too.
Right.
Minnesota,
Minnesota. I know. Yeah. Well, and then, yo, Adrian.
Yeah.
I mean, just things,
mm-hmm.
that.
But I remember, because I think for my Japanese student, it was probably the most difficult. And so I ended up actually buying her a slang dictionary.
Oh, wow.
So we could learn together. Because it was second nature for me, the things that I was saying,
Yeah, right.
And so we bought a slang dictionary so that way she could look them up, and that was her way of learning our English.
Right. Well, now we have our phones that we can use.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a blessing. I mean,
yes.
if you are somewhere in a foreign country,
mm-hmm.
you can talk into it, and it'll,
mm-hmm.
that's nice.
But I found that they learned English a whole lot quicker than I could have learned their language.
Oh. Yeah, they make it look, very easy and,
But again, they also had studied ours for so long. A lot of them, even from elementary school, they had started teaching them English.
Yeah.
So they'd had it longer, but they just come over. But you can see it in you can almost see the wheels in their head spinning. Like if you're saying something and they're trying to understand what you're saying, you can see their wheels spinning, like translating it and breaking it down and trying to understand it.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Well, and I've talked to, and when I go to talk to someone maybe with a foreign language, that is not accustomed necessarily to English,
mm-hmm.
I always get that furrowed brow.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I know I'm saying some weird stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see their expressions, like
mm-hmm.
when they're trying to pick up what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's always, like,
mm-hmm.
trying to get it,
mm-hmm.
then you try to reenact it or act it out,
mm-hmm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And even when because I think all of them, most of them, their parents came over at one point or another to visit.
Cool.
And even their parents had a better handle on the English language than I would have, like theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Maybe not as much as the students themselves, but they still like they could speak more languages than I could.
Yeah. It's very kind and very, I'll give praise to your mom for hosting, because that's very kind for her and to host, to allow that in her home.
They loved it.
I know, but it's very, that's very generous on her part to allow that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what a blessing for them that she was so generous with her home.
It was probably some of their best memories.
I love that
with the students.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And also good for you too to learn. Yeah, it was education for you. Over 7,000 languages are spoken around the world. I didn't realize there were 7,000.
I didn't realize that. That's a lot.
To be exactly 7,164.
Oh my goodness.
But almost half of the world's countries have one of just 10 as their official language. Okay, Babbel, you know Babbel?
Yes.
Looked at how many native speakers there are in each one. So just from place to place, it's official language. And so here we go. Number 1, Chinese. 1.3 billion native speakers. If you just say Chinese, it lumps a bunch of dialogue together. Around 900 million speak that.
Wow.
Okay.
They have a really large country, though.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Really large country, and heavily populated too. So.
Yeah. Spanish, 486 million. It's the official language of Spain, Mexico, and most of South America.
When I was in my 20s, and my husband at that time, he was in the Navy. And so there was, at one point, they were looking at stationing him overseas. And so we had to look at, like, where we wanted to go or what was open or whatever. And I was very, very close to being stationed in Portugal with him. And I was like, okay, well, I'll have to learn that language. But part of me regrets that we didn't get to go over for a couple years, because I just think living in a different country and learning their culture would just be awesome, you know. But yeah, because I think it's Spanish, it's Portuguese, but it's more with the Spanish dialect, right? I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, English, 380 million, only third, but anyway, so 380 million know English. Okay. Portuguese, 236 million. It's the national language of Brazil. Russian, 148 million. Here you go.
My goodness, that's a big number too. I wasn't expecting that one.
Japanese, 123 million.
Oh wow. I did know some Japanese, never kept up with it. I took 4 years in college of Japanese.
Yeah.
I wish I'd kept up with it. I loved writing the Japanese.
Oh, you can write. Oh, that's beautiful.
And they had 3 different styles of the writing of their alphabet, and I loved writing it. I thought it was beautiful. The characters, I just loved the characters.
Yeah, yeah. But you've got a pretty penmanship.
I used to. You know, the carpal tunnel and all that kind of stuff have kind of affected that a lot. But I remember in second grade, second grade, a 6th grade teacher came to our classroom and told my teacher, Mrs. Baker, I need 2 of your students to go teach my 6th graders how to write. And because he had just had enough of them. Their penmanship was not the best. And I remember as a 2nd grader having to go, because I was the female. They wanted a girl and a boy chosen, right? Cool. And so I was the girl chosen to go to the 6th grade class and teach the 6th graders how to write. And
well, what an honor.
I thought that was so funny.
Well, what an honor. Let me just tell you right now, they sure wouldn't be calling me, okay? Yeah.
I always wished that I had learned calligraphy.
Oh, yeah.
Better, though. My aunt can do calligraphy really, really well. She's an artist, though, but I wish I had learned how to. I just think it's beautiful. And sometimes on, like, YouTubes or TikToks or whatever, they have people that write, and I just love watching it.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. Beautiful.
Me too. Yeah, I like it too. Yeah, I love to. It's something I just sit back and admire.
Yes.
Can't do it. Won't ever be able to do it. You know,
right.
Because they always say practice makes perfect. No way. No, I've worked on my penmanship. It's ugly no matter what. It ain't gonna be. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's okay. You know what I mean?
It's fine.
Part of the package here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm very honest about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. But all right. Yeah. So hats off for those and those that can talk, and speak different languages. Good for you. Yeah. Yay for you. Yeah. This week in science, did you ever wonder why sometimes you still have room for dessert? Have you ever been like so full, but then all of a sudden somebody will bring out something for dessert? No.
No.
Oh.
Because there's sometimes I'm just too full for dessert, and I'll pass on it. Do you pass?
Well, it says here in science that our brain, when we see that sweet, sugary stuff, no matter what, we could be full. Yes. Oh yeah, I've said I'm full, I'm done, and then somebody will bring out a brownie or a cake or a cookie, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you still, you know what I mean? Now, whether I can finish it, I might not be able to finish it.
Right.
But there's
get a bite or two out of it.
Yeah. Do you not do that? I mean, does
not
your
always.
brain
No.
trigger you?
I mean, sometimes I will, but not always.
Well, it's like, okay, if they come up and ask did you leave room for dessert, which they always ask, I can say no. Yeah, I'm good. All right. Yeah. I'm done.
Right.
But then when somebody goes ahead and gets it or sets it down.
Yeah, that's probably more that
when you
I can
see it,
that.
that's when. Yeah.
And it depends on what it is too. Because there are some if it's just a piece of cake, for example, I may not care about that. But if it's a ooey gooey fudge sundae or something, a bite or two. But and you're right. If it's offered and I decline, that's one thing. If it's actually brought out, then I may have to take a bite.
Yeah. Or if it's sitting there in front of you. A lot of times, if you go to different dinner, they'll have the desserts.
Right.
Do you pick your seat by what desserts there?
Yes.
Me too.
Well, because sometimes they're alternating.
We're being honest. Yeah.
Some of the meetings I go to, it's usually either a chocolate cake or a cheesecake, right?
Yeah.
I go for the cheesecake.
Yeah.
And so I sit in the spot that has the cheesecake.
Well, yeah. And the biggest piece.
Of course.
I know. But, I like so many different desserts. It's really sometimes I'll choose the seat, and then I'm like, no, I'll go to this seat. You know what I mean? Which seat do I want? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, my goodness, yeah.
Maybe that's why I get to places early. So well, it is part of the reason why I get to places early, because I want to choose my seat anyway. I'm very particular about where I sit.
Really?
In a group setting. I want to be in the very back table, back seat, facing the speaker, closest to the door.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I don't like people being sitting behind me, and I think that probably comes from my stepdad. He was military, and anytime we went to a restaurant or whatever, he had to sit with his back with his face towards the door, so he could always see what was coming at him. And I think I got a lot of that from him. If I'm in the back, I can see everybody, but nobody's going to come up on me.
Well, I think, I love Westerns, so I think I've watched enough Westerns. You always sit with your back to the wall there.
Yeah.
You do not, you know what I mean? My dad was military too, so I always, so I think that's true too, yeah.
So I think that's where I get that from, because I don't remember being that way when I was younger, but when he came into my life, I remember, that's what I do now.
Yeah. Well, now see, I am usually running late, so I don't usually get that choice as much.
I'm usually the first one there, close to it.
I love that. Yeah, that's okay.
My boss always says, "I knew you'd be here, Holly, first. I knew it."
Oh, you always are. Yeah. Well, and that's good. You could save my seat.
But I like timeliness too.
I know.
Like when I have my meetings.
I'm hanging my head low over here.
When I have my meetings with my staff, they are going to be timely. You need to be there timely, like the whole 9 yards, so it's just...
Is it kind of like if you're 15 minutes late, if you're 15, how is that, what's that saying, if you're late 15 minutes or something like that, there's some kind of a saying or whatever, you're late, if you're not, I don't remember how that goes.
Yeah, I don't remember how that goes, but I remember back many, many years ago, well over probably 15 or 20 years ago, I had a meeting up in Indianapolis on a Saturday that I had to be at. Thankfully, it wasn't like a mandatory required. It was just like an educational session that I wanted to go to and learn. And it was up in downtown Indy. Well, you know I don't like downtowns, period. And 20 years ago, I wasn't even as strong in my confidence of driving in cities as I am today. And drove up to Indy, got lost, severely lost.
Easily done.
And finally found the place, and seeing I was going to be 15 minutes late, I drove back home. I did not go to the meeting. I am not going to go in there late and have everybody. No. Mm-mm.
Wait, after all that work, and you get there and
I leave.
Holly.
I didn't even enter the building. I do not like being late. I would rather not go than be late.
Oh, man.
And that's what I did. I turned my car around and headed right back home. Plus, I was so frustrated at that point of just being lost, and I was upset, you know.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I'm not walking into a meeting late. I don't know these people.
Yeah.
I was too nervous. I was like, no. Mm-mm.
Oh, wow.
I did.
Wow.
Drove 2 hours up there, got lost, drove 2 hours home.
Well, now, maybe because, you know, we drive Louisville more. I feel pretty confident in Louisville, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But Indy, it seems like a lot of times, and I know every place does construction, but it seems like there's a lot more, for some reason, this is in my head, one-way streets.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gone down some of those.
I've gone down them the wrong way, yes.
Yes, and I had the police actually.
I had one looking at me right there.
Like I had them pull me over. They kind of got me.
Well, I turned left onto the one-way, and here's a cop right in front, like with his headlights looking at me, and I'm like, I mean, I was scared to death.
Yeah.
But again, I was in my 20s at that point still, and you know, here's this cop staring me head on, and I just thankfully he gave me the grace to turn around. He knew.
Yeah.
He knew. It's like she doesn't live here. She doesn't know what she's doing. It's fine. We're just going to give her a little bit of grace today.
Yeah. Well, mine was a few years ago, and when he pulled me over, I said, "Country mouse in the city."
Yeah.
That's all I had to say, and he just laughed, and he's like, you know, just go down this, do this, you know what I mean? I didn't get, they're very kind about it.
They are.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They know, you know what I mean, we're, you know what I mean, out of our, her element, but that's okay. But I see that, but now I'm a follow through. I would have went ahead and the show would have went on. I don't, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'll walk in late. I don't, Not that I want to, and not
you're late, you're last.
That's right. That is me, exactly. I will be last, for sure. Well, and so it is very interesting on that, you know. All right, so also in other news, the chances of, like the apocalypse news, the chances of that big asteroid hitting us in 2032 just went away.
Well, I know it went down from like, I know the percentage decreased even further today is what I
What
heard.
a blessing. Good. Yeah. NASA was saying 3% chance at one point, but revised it down yesterday to 0.28%.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
So there's a 99.7% chance it won't hit us.
In 2032, right?
2032.
Mm-hmm.
They also think it's smaller, maybe 180 feet across instead of 300. So that's good news.
Mm-hmm.
Good news. Good news. Mm-hmm. All right, now we can lay our head down on the pillow.
Exactly.
Knowing that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In ancient news, did you ever wonder? I can say I wonder a lot of things, but I don't think I've ever wondered. What does a 5,000-year-old mummy smell like? Have you ever wondered that?
You know, I have not wondered that, but I can only assume that it just smells like dirt.
Yeah.
Like dust.
Yeah.
Like, you know how dusty, dirty, like it doesn't, if it's that old, I cannot see it having any living tissue that would be having the rotting smell anymore, you know.
That's good.
So
Look at you. That's
I would think it would be dusty, dirty smell.
Well, a study found that they actually smell pretty good.
Oh.
Like what you're kind of talking about, because the top words that people used are woody, spicy, and sweet.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm thinking
I don't know about the sweet. Where the sweet comes from, I wonder.
I don't know.
Spicy and woodsy, yes.
Have you been through?
But when I say dust and dirt, like that's what I'm thinking is like woodsy. Like, you know how you go into the woods?
Yes. Especially after a rain.
After a rain.
Yeah.
And that rich dirt, that smell of that wonderful wood dirt.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Right. And didn't they use like spices to preserve them, kind of? So spicy.
Yeah.
And sweet.
Yeah. I think they did use spices.
I'm surprised the word musty didn't come up though.
And the sweet may come because, but musky's gonna still have decay mixed in with it though, right? If you're musky or whatever, wouldn't you still have some decay going on? But then also with the sweet, because didn't they made their own oils, their own oils.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
so maybe
so like frankincense oils or amber oils or whatever. Like I know they made different oils that they use as perfumes and things like that too.
I'm thinking of, okay, if you go to Disney and you ride that Mother Earth, you go through and it talks about like the ancient Egyptians, and they kind of, there's a candle, you can buy a candle of it, and it's kind of got an earthy smell, kind of I think that's in my head, that's what I'm thinking maybe, I don't know.
But then, because they were very good at preserving bodies back then, so I would also think the skin would still be like leathery texture maybe.
Wouldn't the skin be gone?
Not necessarily.
Huh?
Because of the way they preserved them, is my understanding. But I'm no anthropologist, archaeologist, whatever you call it, archaeologist. But I thought they preserved the way they preserved the bodies. Like that's why they're in such good shape.
Well,
that's why they're not just dust, literal dust.
Yeah.
When they find them, they're human shapes and stuff.
Well, just like at the landfill, you go out and find my plants.
They're dust.
I should have preserved them a little bit better. Wow. I guess I just didn't know. You know, I mean, honestly, this has not been on my radar. It's something, now it's going to be on my radar. I'm going to start thinking about that, right? While I've, laid my head down the pillow knowing that maybe that we're not going to get hit by an asteroid in
that's
2032.
Right.
Okay, in other news, in AirPod news, noise-canceling headphones could affect your hearing if you use them too much. But they don't actually damage your ears. You just get so used to no background noise, your brain can't process it. Oh, this is interesting.
Interesting.
So it gets harder to hear things like dialogue in movies when the music is behind it.
Interesting.
Wow. Now you think about that. That's going to be, okay, this is, okay, I think of it coming down the pipeline here. I see it. Because there's so many that use the noise canceling headphones. I mean, those are, and especially, different, younger maybe uses those. So you think now that what's going to be coming up generations from now is that they won't be able to process that because of like movies and because of the music behind it. So think about, I guess, like Jaws. I mean, right? I mean, would that be like
I would think so, yeah.
I'm thinking like different movies where as soon as you hear the theme, you know the movie.
Jurassic Park.
I thought of that too. That's funny, yeah.
Love that one.
Right? Yeah. But that's interesting about that because it's like sometimes we create something to help maybe a possibility, you know what I mean? But then the effect is maybe not going to be a good effect.
Because it's almost like it's changing your brain, the way it processes things.
Exactly.
So like if a person has like actual hearing loss or things like that, how it affects, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of interesting.
It's crazy to think, and then someday, like as everyone everyone that's using the canceling headphones, you can only do so much studies now because they're kind of fairly new, so to speak. But like think about years down the road.
Yeah, like 50 years down the road.
Yeah,
that's
gonna be something, isn't it? That's gonna be. It's crazy. It's crazy that something that seems. It's almost like. It's like your short term, it's doing it, but in long term, it's going to be affecting you.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I don't think that that's on the. There's not a warning label of that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And if there were a warning label, would it be heated?
Right. And I can, like, background noise, because I'm so used to it, I can continue. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like, if my kids were loud and playing, well, you can't be, to me, I love laughing. And when they're laughing, and they might be a little louder because my group's loud, but, like, I could still have coffee with you and enjoy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You learn how to kind of it's almost like you can ignore it. You can see like that can still be going on, and you're right, you can still have the conversation.
Yeah.
It's because your brain knows how to process and kind of.
You hear that back there, and maybe for a second my heart always goes happy because I'm hearing, laughing, but then I'm back to the conversation. You know what I mean? I'm actually concentration, and I think that's something that I don't think it's necessarily a superpower. I think it's just something that you are adapted to and you grow used to.
But I think it also depends on how close that noise is to you too.
Well,
if the noise, like if we're in the kitchen and they're in the dining room or whatever, and that's a certain distance away, you can still think,
Sure.
But if they were standing right next to you doing that same noise, that's going to be a little disturbing.
Yeah.
Then it's going to be like you need to go play in the other room.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Because it becomes catches your attention.
Right. Well, and right. Sure.
So I think it depends on the volume where it's at.
Yeah. But I think that right now, I think I'm okay with, and I think you are too, with background noise. We can still, I still think we can process with what we've got going on. Okay, like at your building, we're having a conversation, but then also everybody, those beautiful angel caretakers are taking care of people, maybe talking or getting meals ready, or you could hear that in the background.
Yep.
But you still are, that don't seem to be a problem for us. You know what I mean? Yes. I know that noise. Okay, and in food noise. Speaking of noise, food news. Okay, a study figured out why you can eat a huge meal. There we go, and that was the dessert. Our brain that tells us that we're full also releases a hormone that makes us crave sugar, and only sugar. Experts say it could lead to new weight loss drugs for people who can't resist sweets.
Huh.
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I've been watching on, have you ever seen the people that do the food challenges? Like where they eat like a 5-foot sub. They have like 45 minutes to eat a 5-foot sub. I've been watching. It's just, it amazes me because I've been watching this girl, and she goes all over the world doing these food eating challenges, and she's like little bitty, right?
Yeah.
And watching them, and it's like they eat differently. You know what I mean? And they're watching them eat.
What do you mean eat differently? You mean like
just like the way it's like almost the mechanics of their bites and their mouth. I don't know. That's hard to explain. But like we take a bite and we chew it, but them it's like almost like a chomping. I don't know. It's just different. But I watched this little girl. She's not a little girl, but she's tiny. She's a younger woman, and she's tiny, and she's eating this 5-foot sub in 45 minutes. I'm like, how are you doing this? And I've watched her and others just like big meat platters, or yesterday I watched her do like 8 ice creams, big huge ice creams in like 45 minutes. And I don't understand.
What's the head?
Her body started getting like her core temperature was like reducing with all the ice cream in it.
Can imagine.
It was getting cold, but I'm like I don't see how they can, because when we eat a meal we get full, right? And I could never eat a 5-foot sub, ever. And I just don't know how I want to understand how their body does that. Because I know they practice for these food competitions.
Yeah,
like it's
train.
A big thing.
Sure, yeah.
And I would like to know how they train to do this. It's always intrigued me.
Well, let me see if I can get her to call in.
Yeah. Find out, how do we do the food challenges here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She could maybe teach us a thing or two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Watch out, buffets. Here we come.
She does it with her husband, and I know I'll hear her husband saying about, like if it's a high protein, high fat meal that they're eating, and he's like, I should have done more spinning like to prepare for this, like the spin bikes or whatever. So there's like a bunch of.
Whoa, that helps you. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to understand that better.
Well, yeah, that's really different. Think of as a couple though. I mean, think of like here you are if you go to a buffet. You know what I mean? I mean, right?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be judged at a buffet, but I can't help think that I might judge. Wondering. I'm just thinking. I guess it's cool that you have that would be something, because if you weren't equally yoked in that area, right, then it would be kind of difficult, if, my wife's not done, she's still going, she's still eating, and here the man, a lot of times it's hard too, since for Valentine's Day just a few weeks ago, or last Friday, I think that a lot of times it's hard in couples to have that timing of food. A lot of times, and I don't want, I'm trying to stereotype, but men will have it down like so fast, and we're still eating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's something that I think in relationships they have to kind of pace themselves a little bit more. Do you feel that too? Yeah. Just instead of just taking huge bites, and I think sometimes
like chewing.
Like if you,
I think it's in the processing the food in your mouth. Sometimes men can just be like bite, couple chew, swallow.
Yeah. Where
the women will spend more time chewing the food so it can digest better.
Yeah. And I think that's especially like.
But again, I'm not trying to stereotype.
No. But like if you're, and it can be, the roles can be reversed. Right. You know what I mean? But I've seen where like, to have a supper and enjoy the time, or if you're going out to a nice dinner or something, that more than the side I've seen, the way it leans is usually the man has to kind of pace themselves a little bit slower to get, you know what I mean, so that they're not like, they're done and you're still eating, you know what I mean, which is
interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So I would think in that relationship where they both are competitive eaters, that they would be equally yoked.
Because they had this one pizza. I'm telling you, the pizza.
Well, now, hang on.
It was huge. It was huge, and it was enough. I think it was able to feed 15 people.
I love that.
And like they did it into fourths. Like 1/4 of it they did. I think it was a macaroni and cheese.
Oh.
One of it was a spaghetti and meatballs pizza section.
Oh my.
1/4 of it they did vegetarian with just a bunch of vegetables and things, and then the other one was like just regular pepperoni, because the pizza place that they were at like had their own specialties, and so they wanted to try some of the specialty pizzas on this. But it was huge. Like the pizza itself was like the size of a small dining room table. I mean, it was huge, and they were just it just intrigues me and amazes me how they can do it.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I did hear one person talk about the pizza. It was a competitive eater, and the way, like on pizza, you eat the bigger pieces first, and then you'll be full. But then you see those small pieces, and you're like, "Oh, I can do that." And I know you were wanting to competitive eat,
right? And I know that they would use like condiments to help, especially because I think the bread is probably one of the hardest things to do, and so they would use condiments to help things. To make it easier to go down. But then, like, if they just had a bunch of bread they had to get down, they were actually dipping it in like,
water.
Diet Coke.
Oh.
Dipping it in Diet Coke to help the bread process better. And that just, no thank you.
For that reason, I'm out.
Yeah. No thank you.
Yeah. No, yeah. Well, some different, some different thoughts for sure. There are, I have one more story. There's two kinds of people. Those who will do anything they can to troubleshoot on their own problem to avoid having to deal with customer support. I am that person. I cannot, yes. Also those who just immediately call customer support. You have two different kinds of people. I am the one that will avoid everything I can do to have to call customer support.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because okay? Well, bad news for the second group. You may be waiting for an artificially long time because the company wants you to solve your own problems. That's why they put you on hold for so long. They're hoping that you either give up or solve your own problem. I knew it. I just didn't see it till now. You know what I mean? I mean, I've guessed that, right?
Yeah.
Well, Hewlett-Packard, HP, just added a minimum 15-minute wait time for everyone dialing into their call center. It started yesterday, although only in Europe for right now. It's only in Europe, but it's coming our way. They're admitting that the purpose is to encourage people to use their online resources to solve their own problems.
To me, that's bad customer service.
They're targeting the people who are clogging the phone lines with issues that can easily be handled online or by using virtual chats. But the damage that they're doing will hit people with more complicated problems. We have already exhausted the online options. There are no words yet when this system could take place in the U.S. I think it's going to be worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're gonna, because at this point you're gonna have people that are really upset.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think it's bad customer service.
Yeah.
Answer some questions and move on.
Yeah. Well, they're trying it in Europe, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Hopefully, thumbs down, they won't do it.
I hope.
Yeah, but I do think that a lot of times they do that to companies. Big companies do that just to either you won't wait that long, or you maybe will find out before or something. Yeah. But I say 2 thumbs down, right?
2 thumbs down for me.
All right, let's thank our sponsors, Holly Thompson.
We'd like to thank Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Americans for Prosperity, Mama Roses, Fox Purley Wealth Management, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, Marshall Monuments, and McAllister Lane Consulting. Thank you so much to our sponsors.
Also want to remind everybody, Holly, I've got the big prom dress giveaway this coming Sunday.
Yay!
Weather cooperating, looks like we're going to be fine. It'll be at noon at Salem High School. Hats off to the Salem High School. Please, anybody that's thinking about going to prom. Also, got some boutonnieres that were donated. I'm very blessed. We've got some great people.
Yes.
I'm very thankful for.
That's
awesome.
So
please remember anybody that might be going to prom or know someone that's going to prom. Please send them our way. We got some gorgeous dresses. So.
Wonderful.
All right. Thank you, Holly. And we thank their sponsors.
Yes.
So let's have the best Friday ever, okay?
Friday!
All right.
2025, Saturday, March 1st, French Lick Resort Exhibition Hall with special guest Dee Snider. One night and nothing but a good vibe. All killer hits, no filler. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Bret Michaels with Dee Snider together. Must be 21 years or older to enter casino. Gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WICKET.
Head on over to McDonald's in Salem, French Lick, and Bedford to celebrate after the game, to enjoy that one-of-a-kind taste of McDonald's or warm up with some hot coffee. McDonald's is saving you money with the McValue menu at breakfast and lunch. You can get either a sausage McMuffin, sausage biscuit, sausage burrito, or a hash brown, and get one more for just $1. And at lunch...
What a weekend for Purdue basketball.
They're the all-time leader in Big Ten titles.
Oh, mama, he's cooking today.
And they play right here all year long.
Count the basket. Hit a foul.
You don't want to miss a single game of Boiler Ball this season.
He dunks with 2 hands. What a weekend to be a Boilermaker.
The Purdue Boilermakers play here.
Head on over to McDonald's in Salem, French Lick and Bedford to celebrate after the game, gather to discuss your holiday shopping plans, or just to unwind and enjoy that one-of-a-kind taste of McDonald's. Now featuring the McRib for a limited time. Get that juicy McRib, a boneless pork patty shaped like a miniature rack of ribs, barbecue sauce, slivered onions, dill pickles, and a toasted home-style bun. And don't forget, Happy Meals are only $3 on Tuesdays from 4 to 8 p.m., along with kids' activities. And during the holiday season, if your house is full and you're looking for somewhere to have a birthday party, McDonald's has your solution with a hosted party with food, drinks, and cake for one great price. Call for details and scheduling at 812-883-1976. And when you're hopping between events this season, be sure and grab a $5 meal featuring your choice of a McDouble, McChicken, or Spicy McChicken sandwich, small fries, 4-piece chicken McNuggets, and a small soft drink. At McDonald's, no matter what time of year, you'll be loving it.
We're here at McDonald's Gymnasium for tonight's game. It's time to introduce the starting lineup. And the crowd is on their feet and they're going wild. And here comes the new players. We've got the premium quarter pounders coming in tonight, alongside the chicken classic sandwiches. Playing forward tonight, we have got one-of-a-kind McWrap. Guarding your hunger, it looks like we've got McDouble and McChicken coming in. And starting in the center court tonight will be Big Mac. Look on the sideline, folks. We have Chicken McNuggets cheering tonight alongside those golden delicious fries. Hot and always ready. You'll score points every time you bring the family into Salem McDonald's, right here on Main Street, before or after the game. Don't forget to top off your favorite meal with a cold soft drink, that famous Mickey D sweet tea, or something from their full line of smoothies and McCafe coffee drinks. Order inside from 4 a.m. to 11, or get that one-of-a-kind taste 24 hours at the drive-thru. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Mama Rosa's brings their famous pizza buffet to you on Fridays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for just $12.99. Choose from a wide variety of pizza, homemade soups, and a large salad bar with their favorite potato salad, slaw, and desserts. Then come back on Friday nights for the homestyle buffet from 4:30 to 8 p.m. or 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sundays for $15. Children's buffet is only $7 each. It's where you'll find a variety of good home-cooked foods at Mama Rosa's.
At Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're good at insurance. But not just any insurance. We're good at... No. Did you forget the parking brake? Yes, you forgot the parking brake. Insurance. When the forecast calls for cheeseball-sized hail insurance. Even shouldn't have parked under that tree. Insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
Call your Washington County Farm Bureau agent, Jason Petmeyer, today at 812-620-8923.
Go into detail now. I can tell you that. I just can't go into detail.
No, don't.
I'm just so glad that Greg, Little Lee Hubbard, and Gerald Cates wasn't with me.
Oh, I wish we had been. Never hear the end of it. I wish we had been. Never hear the end of it.
I would never hear the end of it. But, you know, I don't know, man. I met so many people up there at Nashville. You know, the convention center, everybody. I heard can't have nothing so many times that I don't know. But a lot of fans of the show up there, and I appreciate meeting them. And, you know, had a good time.
That's what I heard. Sounds like a great time, buddy. Like you had a splendid
Greg, hey, cut Greg's mic off. Cut it off.
Just cut it off. Don't interrupt him. I'm done.
Okay. He was off air when we were lining this up, and he said, honestly, I don't know how to get through this without too many details. It's going to be really hard.
Yeah, but Gary, you know, I told you some words you used the other day you don't need to use.
What? You talking, well...
No.
I don't know. You can't say it over there, I don't guess. But
No. You